Hello everyone, myself Diksha Anand, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, HIIT Mangalore. So, in our last class, we have studied about some of the topics under ready mix concrete, that is self compacting concrete, fiber reinforced concrete, the different tests to determine its properties, and what are the types of fibers, what are the methods of self compacting concrete in part 1, part 2, part 3 of module 5. And now moving on to the next topic, that is the last topic under module 5 in part 4, about the mechanical properties of fiber reinforced concrete. And the main topic under this video, or in this video, we'll be studying about the lightweight concrete. What are the types of lightweight concrete and how the concrete will be light based on the material used in the mixture of the concrete. And for this video lecture, you can refer from page number 25 to 37 in the notes what I'll be providing. Page number 25 to page number 37. We have studied about the fiber reinforced concrete, and also what are the mechanical, the brief description about the mechanical properties of the fiber reinforced concrete. And now coming to the uh, like what are the types, or what are the different mechanical properties of fiber reinforced concrete, we'll study in this class. So the first one is regarding first one, coming to the compressive strength. The presence of the fibers may alter the failure mode of the cylinder, but the fiber effect will be minor on the improvement of the compressive strength values 0 to 15%. And next one is modulus of elasticity. Modulus of elasticity of fiber reinforced concrete increases slightly with an increase in the fiber content. So as the fiber content increases, either it may be any type of fiber, but asbestos fiber gives you the high strength or high tensile strength, but here we are talking about the modulus of elasticity. The modulus of elasticity increases slightly with an increase in the fiber content, and it was found that for each 1% increase in the fiber content by volume, there is an increase of 3% in the modulus of elasticity. 1% increase in the fiber content by
So
volume
next is a
will be
flexural strength
increasing 3% in
increased
the
by
modulus of elasticity.
2.5 times using 4% fiber. Toughness for fiber reinforced concrete, toughness is about 10 to 40 times that of plain concrete. And the split tensile strength, the presence of 3% by volume was reported to increase the splitting tensile strength of a mortar about 2.5 times that of a unreinforced one. Fatigue strength, the addition of the fibers increases fatigue strength of about 90% and 70% of the static strength at 2 into 10 raised 6 cycles for non-reverse and full reversal of the loading respectively. Next is what is impact resistance, or what is the resistant impact on the fibrous concrete. The impact strength for fibrous concrete is generally 5 to 10 times that of plain concrete depending on the volume of the fibers used. So when we go for any of the mechanical properties, either it may be strength or it may be toughness, modulus of elasticity, that depends upon the volume of the fiber used and the type of the fiber used. So here the impact resistance says that the fibrous concrete is generally 5 to 10 times that of plain concrete depending on the volume of the fiber used. Next is corrosion of the steel fiber. A 10 years exposure of the steel fibrous mortar to outdoor weathering is in an industrial atmosphere showed no adverse effect on the strength properties. When it is exposed to the outdoor weathering, it has shown no effect on the strength properties. Corrosion was found to be confined only to the fibers actually exposed on the surface. Steel fibrous mortar continuously immersed in the seawater for 10 years exhibited a 15% loss compared to 40% strength decrease of the plane motor. Next is what are the advantages of the fiber reinforced concrete. So first one, that is reduction in the shrinkage and the cracking. Research has shown that higher fiber count, the percentage of fiber or the number of fibers per unit volume, reduces the effects of the restraint and the drying, shrinkage, cracking. The addition of polypropylene, so one type of fiber, also reduces crack width significantly. After cracking, the fibers transfer tensile stress across the cracks and act to confine crack tip extension, so that many fine cracks occur instead of fewer larger cracks. Next is improved bond strength. What is the bond strength when we use fiber in the concrete? The fiber exhibit improved mechanical bonding as the direct result of the cement matrix penetrating the fiber's network. This feature is called as pegging. This feature is called as pegging. The mechanical bond or adhesion of the fiber with calcium silicate hydrate, that is CSH, has also been reported. Next is fatigue strength and endurance limit. One of the important attributes of FRC is the enhancement of fatigue strength as compared to the plain concrete. The addition of polypropylene fiber, even in a small amount, has increased the flexural fatigue strength. An increase of 15% to 18% has been reported. Next is about the toughness or the better toughness. Addition of the fiber improves the post crack behavior and energy absorbing capacity of the concrete. The ability to absorb elastic and plastic strain energy and to conduct um, the tensile stresses across the crack is an important performance factor for serviceability of the concrete. Fibers have significant influence on the post crack loading carrying capacity of the concrete. Next is what are the application of fiber reinforced concrete? The uniform dispersion of the fiber throughout the concrete mix provide isotropic properties not not common to conventionally reinforced concrete. The application of the fibers in the concrete industries depend on the designer and builder in taking advantage of the static and dynamic characteristics of this new material. And the main area of FRC application are, so we'll see it in the next slide, the main area where FRC can be used. Can be used in runway, aircraft parking and the pavement. For the same wheel load, FRC slabs could be about one half the thickness of plain concrete slab compared to 375 thickness of conventionally reinforced concrete slab. A 150 thick crimped end FRC slab was used to overlay an existing asphaltic paved aircraft parking area. The FRC pavement are now in service in surf and mild environment. Next is it will be used in tunnel lining and slope stabilization. So steel fiber reinforced shotcrete, that is SFRS, steel fiber reinforced shotcrete are being used to line underground opening and rock slope stabilization.
It eliminates the need for mesh reinforcement and the scaffolding. Next is the blast resistant structure. The plain concrete slab test showed that there is no reduction of fragment velocities or number of fragments under blast and shock waves. Reinforced slab of fibrous concrete, however, showed 20% reduction in velocities and over 80% in fragmentation. Next is it can be used as a thin shell walls in thin shell in walls or in pipes and the manhole. So fibrous concrete permit the use of thinner flat and curved structural elements. Steel fibrous shotcrete is used in the construction of hemispherical domes using the inflated membrane process. Glass fiber reinforced cement or concrete, that is glass fiber reinforced cement GFRC, made by spray up process, have been used to construct wall panels. Steel and glass fiber addition in concrete pipes and manholes improve the strength, reduces thickness, and diminishes handling damages. So, in dams and hydraulic structure, FRC is being used for construction and repair of dams and other hydraulic structures. So, hydraulic structures like dams or bridges to provide resistance to cavitation and serve erosion caused by the impact of large water borne debris. Next is fiber shotcrete, rock stabilization, tunnel lining, and bridge repair. Production of structural steel work, particularly in the support structure. What are the other applications? So these include machine tool frames, lightning poles, water and oil tanks, and the concrete repair. So what are the merits or advantages or disadvantages of FRC? Merits: there is an increase in the tensile and flexural strength. There is an improvement in ductility and toughness. Improvement in the blast resistance and impact resistance. Fiber act as a crack arrestors, thus control cracking and mode of failure by means of post-cracking ductility. High strength concrete is that it is brittle. The One of the major drawback of high strength concrete is that it is brittle and the failure will be sudden and catastrophic, particularly in structure subjected to earthquake, blast or suddenly applied load. This serious disadvantage of high strength concrete is overcome by addition of fiber which makes it ductile. And now what are the demerits? Merits of the fiber reinforced concrete. If there is non-uniform distribution of the fiber, it leads to poor workability, and conventional mixing techniques and mixed proportion usually lead to fiber balling, improper dispersion, and hence quality control should be maintained. While mixing small quantities of fiber reinforced concrete by hand, there is a possibility of steel fiber shooting up and hitting the eyes of the worker or even pricking the hand. What are the typical proportion of fiber reinforced concrete? So cement content should be 3 it may vary from 325 to 550 kg per meter cube.
Water cement ratio will be usually 0.4 to 0.6. Percentage of sand to the total aggregate is 50 to 100%. Maximum size of the aggregate is 10 mm. Air content is 6 to 9%. Fiber content is 0.5 to 2.5% by volume of the mix. Steel is 1%. Steel for 1% steel 78 kg per meter cube. Glass 1% that is 20 kg per meter cube. And nylon 1% that is 11 kg per meter cube. So these are the typical proportion when we go for fiber reinforced concrete. So next we'll move on to the topic lightweight concrete. So what do you mean by lightweight concrete? So lightweight concrete can be defined as a type of concrete which include an expanding agent in that it increases the volume of the mixture while giving additional qualities such as availability and lessen the dead weight. It is lighter than the conventional concrete with a dry density of 300 kg per meter cube up to 1840 kg per meter cube and 87 to 23% lighter. And it was first introduced by the Romans in the 2nd century, where the Pantheon has been constructed using pumice, the most common type of aggregate used in the particular year 18th century. So you can see here the structure which is made up of lightweight concrete. From there From there on, the use of lightweight concrete has been widely spread across other countries such as USA, UK, and Sweden. And the main specialities of the lightweight concrete are its low density and the thermal conductivity. Its advantages are that there is a reduction of dead load, faster building rates in construction, and lower haulage and the handling cost. And it is economic. And in the 20th century, deck slabs of high rise building, bridge decks, and oil extraction decks and oil drilling basements were constructed, and the strength may vary from 3 to 60 megapascal. Lightweight concrete uh, may be made by using lightweight aggregates or by using of foaming agents such as aluminum powder, which generate gas while the concrete is still in the plastic state. And the natural lightweight aggregates include pumice, scoria, volcanic cinder stuff, and diatomite. And using the approximate materials and the methods lead to achieve the concrete unit weight of 300 to 1850 kg per meter cube and its corresponding strength about 3 megapascal. In some cases it may vary up to 60 megapascal. So here you can see how the lightweight concrete will be. So lightweight aggregate can also be produced by heating clay, shale, slate. So these are the types of rock, and obsidian and vermiculite. Industrial cinders and blast furnace slag that has been especially cooled can also be used. What are the classification of lightweight concrete? So lightweight concrete can be classified into different types. First one, lightweight aggregate concrete. In that, again, two types: fully compacted concrete and partially compacted concrete. And no fines, like fine aggregates will not be used, so it is called as no fine aggregate, or sorry, no fine concrete.
aerated concrete, and again aerated concrete can be classified as aerated concrete by chemical process, aerated concrete by physical process. So one is a gas concrete and second one is a foam concrete. And next is fourth one is microcellular concrete, that is other modes of classification is based on the type of binder, like cement, lime and gypsum, or the type of aggregate like natural, processed natural, byproducts and unprocessed. So next is classification based on the density and the strength. So how it can be classified based on the density and the strength? First one, lightweight concrete of low strength and exceptionally good thermal insulating properties, having densities in the range 250 to 800 kg per meter cube. Lightweight concrete of medium strength and adequate thermal insulating properties, having density range of 800 to 1400 kg per meter cube. Next is lightweight concrete of structural strength and limited thermal insulating properties, having densities in the range of 1400 to 2100 kg per meter cube. Next is what are the types of lightweight concrete? So as we have discussed in the slide, the first one, that is like a lightweight aggregate concrete. So the next one is no fine concrete. It is a kind of concrete in which fine aggregate fraction has been omitted. So it has been, we know that usually how the concrete will be manufactured, but here in the lightweight concrete or in this type of lightweight concrete, so there will be no fine. And no fine concrete can be defined as a lightweight concrete composed of cement and coarse aggregate and the water, and uniformly distributed voids are formed throughout its mass. The main characteristics of this type of lightweight concrete is it maintains in large voids and not forming lattice layer of cement film with place on the wall. And the load bearing and non load bearing for external walls and the partition, the strength of no fine concrete increases as the cement content is increased, and too much water can cause cement film to run off the aggregate to form lattice layer. So what are the properties of the no fine concrete? So first is the density, compressive strength, bond strength, drying shrinkage and the thermal conductivity. So the density should be around 360 kg per meter cube. Compressive strength vary from 1.4 Newton per mm square to 14 Newton per mm square. And the bond strength of the no fine concrete is very low, and because there is no fine aggregate, there is no finer particle, so the bond strength of no fine concrete is very low. Drying shrinkage lower than that of conventional concrete, and thermal conductivity, no fine concrete is much less than that of the conventional concrete, so the value of coefficient of thermal conductivity will be much less. Next is lightweight aggregate concrete. So porous lightweight aggregate of low specific gravity is used in this lightweight concrete instead of ordinary concrete. The lightweight aggregate can be natural aggregates such as pumice, scoria, and all those of volcanic origin. The main characteristics of this lightweight concrete is its high porosity, which results in the low specific gravity. So high porosity which results in the low specific gravity. And two types are partially compacted lightweight aggregate concrete and structurally lightweight aggregate concrete, that is fully compacted uh, concrete.
So partially compacted lightweight aggregate concrete two purpose. It serves for two purpose. So precast concrete blocks or panels, and the second one is the cast in situ roofs and walls. So one is partially compacted, and other one is fully compacted. The main requirement for this type of concrete is that it should have adequate strength and low density to obtain the best thermal insulation and a low drying shrinkage to avoid the cracking. And it can be used with the steel reinforcement as to have a good bond between the steel and the concrete. Shape of the texture of the aggregate particles and the coarse nature of the fine aggregate tend to produce harsh concrete mixes. Only the denser varieties of the lightweight aggregate are suitable for the use in the structural concrete. So natural materials like volcanic pumice, the thermal treatment of the natural raw materials like clay, slate or shale, that is lesser, manufacture from industrial byproducts such as fly ash, that is LITAD, and processing of industrial byproducts like FA, fine aggregates or slag. Next is what is aerated concrete. Aerated concrete does not contain coarse aggregate and can be regarded as an aerated mortar. Typically, aerated concrete is made by introducing air or other gas into a cement slurry and fine sand. Sand is replaced by pulverized fuel ash or other siliceous material, and lime may be used instead of cement. So the two methods are inject the gas into the mixing during its plastic condition by means of chemical reaction, and the either by mixing in stable form or by wiping in air using an air entraining agent. The first method is usually used in precast concrete factories, where the precast units are subsequently autoclaved in order to produce the concrete with the reasonable high strength and the low drying shrinkage. And the second method is mainly used for in situ concrete suitable for insulation, roof screeds, or pipe lagging. The properties of the lightweight concrete can be categorized into types, that is functional properties and the structural properties. Functional and structural. So under functional properties, first one, that is thermal insulation. So lightweight aggregate concrete uh, has excellent insulating properties, and the coefficient of thermal expansion of the light aggregate concrete is less than the normal weight concrete and is primarily a function of the component material. The thermal conductivity is a measure of the rate at which heat energy passes through a unit area of material of unit thickness per degree temperature gradient. Next is density and the strength. The most obvious characteristic of the lightweight concrete is its density, which at times could be only being a fraction of that of ordinary concrete. Lightweight concrete brings in a distinct advantage of having appreciable reduction of dead loads, lower haulage, and the handling cost. So acoustic properties. Acoustic is nothing but about the noise. So noise may be avoided by suppression of the sound as its source or by isolating it from the zone where it is generated. Lightweight concrete has not been considered to have any special sound insulating value. Lightweight concrete show
moderately good built in sound absorption coefficients on of value ranging from zero point 0.2 to 125 cps to 0.5 to 4000 cps frequencies. And next is about the water absorption. Lightweight concrete, particularly those used in blocks, being porous in nature, have higher tendency to absorb the water than the dense concrete. And lightweight concrete in practice are not generally used without waterproofing to prevent the rain penetration. This is not considered to be of the significance in practice. Next is about the fire protection. More effective fire protection than compared to conventional concrete, and good resistance to exposed environmental pollutants. It increases with an aging of the concrete. It increases the tensile strength with the aging of the concrete, and modulus of elasticity is usually one half to 3 months that of the reference concrete, and fatigue strength is similar to that of the normal. Next is about the creep. Creep is higher than that of the normal concrete, and the shrinkage is assumed to be twice that of conventional concrete. The bond strength of the structural lightweight concrete is normally high, and the bond strength of the horizontal bars will be lower, and shear strength is lower compared to that of conventional concrete. Next is what are the structural applications of the lightweight concrete. So importance and versatile material is in modern construction, multi-story building frames and floors, and it can be used in shelf roofs, folded plates, bridges, and pre-stresses or precast elements of all types. The low density of the cellular concrete make it suitable for precast floor and roofing units, load-bearing masonry walls, fire walls in the form of precast, reinforced wall panels in multi-storied building, or instru composite roof and floor slab, partition wall in the residential, or insulation cladding to the exterior walls. So what are the advantages of the lightweight concrete? In high-rise building can save money and power considerably, reduce dead weight, the lower modulus reduced dead weight, the lower modulus of elasticity, and advantages in the seismic design of the structure. Fire resistance, low thermal conductivity, low coefficient of thermal expansion, and lower erection and transport cost. For fabricated structure, for a smaller crane handle a large unit due to reduction,
Are the
and
disadvantages of the lightweight concrete. Very sensitive with water content in the mixture, and porosity and angularity of the aggregate is like due to difficult it is difficult to place and finish because of the porosity and angularity of the aggregate. And in some mixers, cement mortar may separate the aggregate and float towards the surface, so it may be act as a segregation or bleeding. Mixing time is longer than conventional concrete to assure the proper mixing. So stability of the uh, lightweight aggregates for lightweight concrete. So if we consider pumice, these are the rocks of all volcanic origin which occur in many parts of the world, and they are light enough and yet strong enough to be used as a lightweight aggregate, and their lightness is due to escaping of the gas from the molten lava when erupted from the deep beneath the earth crust. And pumice is usually light colored or nearly white and has a fairly even texture. And the next one is scoria. So you can see here it is a scoria is also a lightweight aggregate of volcanic origin, dark in color and contains a large and irregularly shaped cell unconnected with each other, slightly weak than pumice. Next is a sawdust. So sometimes sawdust is used as a lightweight aggregate in flooring and in the manufacture of precast products. Sawdust adversely affect the setting and hardening of the Portland cement owing to the content of tannins, yellowish or brownish bitter tasting organic substance and soluble carbohydrates. For greater fire resistance, low thermal conductivity and low coefficient of thermal expansion and low erectation and transport costs for the prefabricated member. And for the same crushing strength, the density of the concrete made with such an aggregate can be as much as 35% lower than the normal. So these are all about the ready mix concrete or the types of like lightweight concrete and self compacting concrete, fiber reinforced concrete, and how ready mix concrete can be placed or pumped. So some of the topics and what are the some of the topics I have given importance here in these video lectures, and you can go with the part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4 of module 5, which will be uploaded in the YouTube, and also you can refer in AJIT e-learning, and also the notes will be sent along with the videos in the coming class in the coming class, so that is in tomorrow's class. Thank you.